And green love, welcome to the Prague Corner. It's the Sunday Prague stream, the show that the public has demanded. They said it wasn't going to last, and here we are. We've been doing it for 40 weeks now, and I couldn't do it without Cody and Wayne, my usual wingmen. Cody, how you doing today?
Very good, my friend. Very good. I'm happy to be here in great company.
Great shirt.
Thank
Wayne,
you.
what's new in your world?
Oh, not much. Just listening to a ton of music.
From
If you haven't,
1972, I hope.
72, yes, and beyond.
Okay.
Doing tons of put up a bunch of polls, so I kind of have my top tens coming out pretty soon. So next one's going to be on Roger Waters. After that, it's Jeff Beck. Then I believe it's Tool. Then Supertramp.
Nice. Good stuff. And we're looking forward to all the rankings. I love the rankings. You know I do. Pontis, it's been a quick minute since you've been in the house. Welcome back. I apologize for missing.
It's great to be back. It's great to be back.
Scheduling mishaps and all that.
Yeah, it's going good. I'd like to tell you something which is interesting. A couple of days ago, me and my fiance went out have a bite to eat. And we sat in this restaurant and they played modern hip hop music. And I must say, at 52, this was absolutely my outer limit musically. It's interesting when you find that, because I listen to weird, some absolute weird stuff like Zappa and Henry Cow and stuff like that. But that music truly hit the wall for me. I couldn't stand it. It was just enormously, it's one of those experiences. You have to find your limits, right?
I think so too. And I felt the same way when I spent a couple months in Northern Africa listening to Moroccan and Algerian folk music where they used a 22-note scale and my Western ears just couldn't hang with it at all. I think it's an excellent exercise to challenge yourself, stretch yourself, listen to that music that you really, really think you hate, because there's a thin line between love and hate, boys and girls. And to wit, we've got Tom Curlis from Curlis Mania back in. Do we love him? Do we hate him? I don't know. There he is, the way you made him. Yeah, it's Tom Curlis.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me, man. I love being on these streams. So much fun. I've been cramming, as you can see, for 1972 the last couple days for getting ready for this. That's been nothing but a pleasure, because 72 is just what a year. We'll be talking about that. But yeah, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We've got an all-star lineup in the Peanut Gallery. But before we give shout outs to those great people, it's his first visit into the Prog Corner. How is that even possible? It's the one, it's the only, the incomparable Rand Kelly. How you doing, Rand?
Doing great, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Can't believe you haven't been on here before.
I'm always ready.
Crazy. But I had to have you on.
We love to see you.
I'm sorry, I was getting pushback. People were saying that, the youth movement is great and all, but, we want to hear it from the OGs. It don't get no more OG than Rand Kelly, boys and girls. So there it is. And today, we are talking about 1972. I can't wait to get into it, man. What a fantastic year for music. And, if you look at the music scene as a whole, the number one song was Roberta Flack, The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face. But 3 out of the top 5 songs in 1972 actually came out in 1971. So we need to talk about disqualifiers. Does Roundabout count, right? It came out in 1971 in England, but the U.S. version was 72. The single came out in 72. What about Frankenstein, which I've got right over there? The album came out in 72. The single came out in 73. Does it count? So I figure whether it's the UK or the US, doesn't matter if it was the single or the album. If it's somewhere, some house is 1972 on it, it's valid. And so I got my top 10 going here, but I think we want to start with the sage, the OG. I want to hear Rand Kelly's top 10 songs from 1972, because something tells me he was a little bit older than most of us here on the panel back in 72. So he was living through it. So I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, in 1972, I was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was 18. No, wait, I was 20. Excuse me. 1920, something like that.
It's math.
So we're doing all 10 down the row?
Yeah, man, this is your segment.
Okay.
Do you have the floor? Do you have visual aids? If so, we'll make
I've got
big.
props.
And you got props. Well, here we go. This is how we're gonna play the game, then, Rand.
I got props.
The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, I got props, and I also have, if that's okay, like 3 honorable mentions at the end.
That's fine.
Go for it.
Okay, here we go. My 10th one. I'm gonna go backwards, like ranking, right? Is a song called "Over and Above" on Phantasmagoria, which is this album right here.
Curved Air.
I think that's their best album. Oh yeah, right. I forgot to say it. Curved Air. Gotta say these titles out loud.
You do. A lot of people are not watching us, Rand. A lot of people. It's weird to me too. A lot of people just listen.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I listen in the car myself when I hook it up through the Wi-Fi and stuff, and it frustrates me when people go, and this album here, and you're going, what album? But I'm telling you, this song "Over and Above" is just off the hook. I can't even believe this band composed this song. It's insane. I mean, I barely remember it from back in the day, but this was my first Curved Air album, and I just fell in love with them. Sonia Christina, what a voice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of female vocals, Renaissance Prologue is my number 9. And this isn't the original Prologue cover, of course. This is a Capitol connection of what was the? Oh yeah, it was called Prologue. The first Renaissance album in 1972 with Annie Haslam was called Prologue. The title song Prologue is my choice. I love her voice. What a way to introduce her, and also, when they do the concerts like live at Carnegie Hall and all that, they open with it. So it's a great opener. But I love Renaissance.
I am hearing birds chirping. I'm hearing dogs barking.
Yeah.
The weather must be getting warm all across the world here today.
Yeah, it's summer. It's getting to be summer. I live in Redding, California, and it's going to get hot. But it's not too bad yet. Yeah, my dogs that's why I had to shut the door, because they're on the other side of the house barking. Then my number 8 is a little band that Steve Hillage and Dave Stewart got involved in called Con.
Great album.
The song I chose on this, this is Con Space Shanty, by the way. Great album. It was a one and done. Excellent stuff. I chose Stargazers. Phenomenal song. So crazy. And I listened to that today, of course. I listened to everything before I did this. And my number 7 is from a band called Pink Floyd. On this album, when I was in the Air Force in Puerto Rico, when I got stationed in Puerto Rico, I played this album so much it was ridiculous. My favorite song on here, I got to get water soon, is The Gold It's in the, because I saw the movie La Belle, and it's not very good, and they really edited a lot of the Pink Floyd out, but this album, I think it's incredible. And I just love The Gold It's in there. It's just a happy sounding song. David sings it great, and his guitar solos are just awesome. So that's that, and that was my number 7. My number 6 is from English band that came out of Germany called Nectar, A Tab in the Ocean. My favorite song on here is the title cut, A Tab in the Ocean. And I'm friends with the bass player on Facebook, Derek Moore, and he said that the tab is what you would think. Vitamin L.
Good.
And my 5th is this. Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick, and
Thank
this
you.
Steven Wilson 5.1 mix is just astounding. And it took forever for me to get it, so they finally did a reissue of it, thank God. Because it was going for $700 on Amazon.
Yeah. I was watching the price on that. Insane.
Yeah. And I think my count is off, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay. My next one, I'll just say next one. Gentle Giant, Octopus. My favorite song on here is Knots. And it was the first time I had ever heard a rock band do Beach Boys type harmonies. The weirdest song ever. I got to see them do this live on ABC's Don Kirshner's Rock Concert in Sacramento on a little tiny black and white TV in my mom's kitchen. And she was walking by and she goes, "What the hell are you listening to?" But yeah, this is great. This is the deluxe edition of Gentle Giant Octopus. And my next one is these guys. Love Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy, great album. My only complaint with this packaging is that they put in 3 discs and they didn't leave any room for the booklet to go anywhere. So when you open it up, it falls out.
Yeah, not cool.
But that's a minor thing because you can go stack the book somewhere else. But anyway, this is great. This is in 5.1. And my song on here is the opening cut, the Endless Enigma Fugue, and the Endless Enigma Part 2.
Great
Just
choice.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you really want to treat, go on YouTube and check out a band called Mastermind and listen to their cover of this. There's a lady on there that sings it. Her name is Lisa Bouchel, and it is killer. It's almost as good as this one, or maybe even just as good. But you got to check that out if you're a fan. And my next one is, I like Cody's T-shirt. I wish I had that, actually.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm not going to pick the one you guys think I'm going to pick. It's Watch of the Skies. It's the first thing I ever heard by the band, and I hated it. I hated this band at first. But then I learned to fall in love with them when I bought the live album. That changed everything. But yeah, Watch of the Skies made me want to get a Mellotron, and I finally did. I have that new digital Mellotron, that 4000 Mini. I love it.
How come you're not set up in front of your Mellotron today?
I get
1972 could have been perfect. And my next pick is Watcher of the Skies as he plays the opening chord. That could have been cool.
It's funny. I tried to do that on my laptop one time when I was on Sea of Tranquility. I was going to play the opening chords to Starless, and it just didn't get through the laptop for some reason. So yeah, that's why I didn't bother. But I had never thought about that. Most people tell me not to play it. Sometimes I play my Mini Moog and stuff when I'm like, if they'll let me, but I don't know. It's very weird.
We'll turn this Prague Corner live stream into an open mic night.
That'd be fun, man, because I know a lot of stuff. I got Mellotron, I got a Mini Moog, and I've got all kinds of keyboards. I was just going to say the reason I didn't do it today is because there's so much in there, and it's kind of warm, and I'm not running the air conditioning yet. So I get claustrophobic in there with the door shut, and I have to shut the door, otherwise the cats will just walk all over everything. And okay, and here's my number one.
Here we go.
You'll probably know what it is.
Oh yeah.
The opening, it's close. Yes, Close to the Edge. Oh, I forgot to tell everybody that last one was Genesis Foxtrot. Okay. Anyways, yeah. I think Close to the Edge by Yes is the greatest song ever written. I can't get burned out on it. I can listen to it over and over and over and over. I just listened to it today in 5.1 surround sound. Steven Wilson's mix is just phenomenal. I can't say enough about this song. I could do a book on it. It's just so good. It has everything you'd ever want in a prog tune. And back then, there was no term called prog. It's just like, oh, those guys are doing weird stuff. Okay, here's my honorable mentions.
Well, you got some love already in the comments, so don't mess up with the honorable mentions, Rand.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Captain Beyond.
Yeah, this is Captain Beyond. This is their first debut album. Of course, first debut. This is their first album, and they put 2 more out after this, but I don't think they shine as much as this one. And my favorite song on here is the opening cut, Dancing Madly Backwards. My God, I've got a little story about Captain Beyond. It won't take long to tell it. I saw Iron Butterfly in 1994 in San Ramon, California, and they had a meet and greet, and you didn't have to pay for it. You just sit there in the bar and talk to them and stuff. And I'm sitting there with Lee Dorman on the that played bass on Iron Butterfly and this album, Captain Beyond. And I said, "Can you sign this?" And I handed him my CD booklet in here. And he goes, "I didn't even know that was available."
Wow.
There it is, Lee Dorman.
Nice.
Very cool.
He's pointing right at him with the arrow. He did that. He was so upset. Nobody told me about that.
Wow.
Thanks for telling me. He was, like, don't shoot the messenger. Now, this one, I'm kind of cutting a curve a little bit on whether it's prog or not, but from 72, you like top 10 songs. I love this song so much. I had to put it in because I listened to it so much back then. And it's Deep Purple Machine Head, Highway Star. I think Highway Star is the greatest thing they've ever done. I love this song so much.
Oh yeah,
I've got this in surround sound quad or something, and regular. Amazing album. I listened to Machine Head so many times, and they were so helpful to help me learn how to play music. And when I learned how to play Maybe I'm a Leo on the guitar, I was so proud of myself. Oh my God, that was like fun. And then my last honorable mention, Wayne will love this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anybody want to guess what? Oh, this is Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards, by the way. Anybody want to guess what song I chose here?
Rainbow Demon.
No.
Circle
of Hands.
No.
Paradise and Spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Long one.
Paradise the Spell. I think
right.
that's the best thing this band ever did. And every time I listen to Ken Hensley's slide guitar solo in it, and then that part about I have no need for moonlight, you're wrong to trust us. Oh my God, that song just gives me shivers. And by the time it's over, and it says you will know I'll be watching you, I'm off the ground. My feet are 2 feet off the ground. I just love this. Greatest. I think it's my favorite Uriah Heep album. We listened to it so much in the Air Force. Everybody in the barracks had this. Everywhere you'd go, every party you went to, people would play this.
It was all easy living.
Oh, I love Easy Living. I played that in a band before a couple of times in a bar.
Nice.
Fun.
To think they did both that and The Magician's Birthday in the same year.
Yeah. With
Unbelievable.
Roger Dean doing the covers.
Let's give a quick shout out to those great bands. 1972 was such a good year that these bands, some of them didn't just put out one masterpiece, they put out 2. Gentle Giant put out 3 Friends and Octopus. PFM put out Storia de un Minuto and Per Amico. Banco de Motoro Socorro put out their debut, and Darwin. Uriah Heep put out Demons and Wizards and Magician's Birthday. But here's the one right here. Oh, yeah, here's the one right here. Nobody talks about that I just thought about, and I'm glad I pulled it. How about putting out Flash put out their first 2 albums in 72. I love Flash, by the way.
I love
How about
Flash too.
Zappa's Waka Jawaka and the Grand Wazoo? Same year.
And another band out of LA.
And another band out of LA.
Crazy.
3 albums, right?
Crazy.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's how good 72 was, boys and girls.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, 72, man. Come on. This was his 3rd best album that came out in 72. Stop it. Anyway, I feel compelled to counter the wisdom and the sage everything that goes along with being Rand Kelly, with a little blast of excitement and youthful enthusiasm. Cody, I know you're chomping at the bit. I want to hear your list because, people are saying that we skew a little too young on the Sunday Prog stream, and I want to set them straight about that. Cody's probably got more knowledge about Prague than 95% of the people twice his age. So put a sock in it, and maybe you'll learn something from this youngin right here.
Bring it, Cody. Bring it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's well, I love all music. My love of music is not just Prague, but I'm very big on progressive rock overall. I love Dream Theater and Gentle Giant and ELP and Tool and Opeth. So I like the modern spin, but you got to go with the classics. So I'm going to start off by talking about the Boys in the Band from Octopus at my number 10. This is not a ranking, by the way. There's no order of greatness. It's just all amazing stuff. The Boys in the Band, awesome. I've played this. Oh, I love the fireworks, man. Yes, thank you. I played this on my radio show.
Too big, but before somebody's mentioning El Boleto de Bronzo, in case nobody mentions it. Yes, Siccio, awesome. I'm gonna make you big, Cody.
Sure. All right, yeah. So we're going to Octopus from 1972. I could have picked so many songs from this, but the Boys in the Band is just a really cool little instrumental track, 4.5 minutes, and I just love it. It's a hard rocking bit, and I just think it's super cool. And this is the original cover. This is this used to be my dad's copy. He had to send away to the UK to get this back in the 80s when CDs were still new. And so my number 10 is Boys in the Band from Gentle Giant. What am I going to do next? Yeah, let's go Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Trilogy, the title track.
Oh, yeah.
So good. This is Emerson Madness and Carl Palmer and Greg Lake just coming in and just making it a real powerhouse of a tune. Beautiful vocals from Greg in this song. I love the drumming. Carl Palmer is forever one of my drum heroes. As a drummer myself, he's been very influential to me, and so love him. And let's do Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago. Dialogue Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I almost went with a hit by Varese.
Yeah.
But I love, there's something about Dialogue Part 1 and 2 that just gets me going. I love the vocal melodies in it. Peter Cetera and Terry Kath just going at it like crazy. Maybe it's not Prague with a capital P, but I feel it's deserving of being mentioned here today. This whole album is so good. Chicago 5.
It's Prague through and through. Dialogue Part 1 and 2 is the absolute highlight for me of Chicago's entire discography. The interplay between Kath and Cetera, their vocals just so different. And they're taking those different political views. It's 1972. It's pure genius. And yet another one taken off my board because I'm going to try to do it without repeats.
Okay.
So thanks for picking one of mine, Cody.
Oh, well, hey, thanks for having the same taste as me, my friend, because this is just so good. And moving on, we got one that Rand has already mentioned, Deep Purple. From the Machine Head record, and of course it's Highway Star, man. What can I say? Brilliant. This album is one of the most brilliant rock albums of all time. Tom knows how much I love Deep Purple. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's a cool little Deep Purple video coming out about us on Curless Mania there. But I think this is possibly the greatest hard rock album ever made. I mean, it's kind of borderline jazz, borderline prog, and borderline metal in different parts of it. I mean, Lazy is kind of like a jazz song, right? But
it's perfect.
Sheethead for me, one of the greatest guitar solos ever. And to think that Richie only played it that way once. Because he never plays the same solo twice.
Yeah,
just amazing, and showing the world how an organ can sound overdriven through a guitar amp. Amazing.
And he overdubbed it in the fifths, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. So we're gonna go to another classic from 1972, probably not one that we've mentioned much on the Prog Corner, but I think this is definitely worthy of being here. Is Elton John from the Honky Chateau record.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna go with Mona Lisa's and Mad
I was
Hatters.
gonna say that's the best song on there.
It's pretty darn awesome. I mean, I could have gone with Honky Cat, but the Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous tune. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Cody, your mom is watching Queen Terry. Oh, hi, Mom. Yeah, she loves Elton John, so she'll be up for this for sure. Yeah, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, just amazing, just totally beautiful, melodic, great song.
What a vocal on that too.
Oh, it is just
Yeah.
I can't. It's too good.
Yeah, that's the deep cut on there.
And
That
yeah,
is the chateau that really scared the shit out of Jeffrey Hall a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rolling Stones.
at the behest of him. He's the one. Every great musician that played there was usually told by Elton John to go and record there, just like that T-Rex album that's behind Tom. Him and Elton were good friends, and so Elton told him, you got to record at the Chateau de Reville, man. You got to do it, and so he did.
Oh, hey Cody, have you seen that Bang a Gong video on MTV, or when it was on MTV with Elton John playing piano with T-Rex?
And Ringo on drums?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. yeah. I didn't see it on TV, but I saw it on a DVD that someone
It's on
had.
YouTube now. What I meant to say YouTube, I didn't mean to say MTV.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's awesome. They do Children of the Revolution, I think. It was really cool. And Bang a Gong, and they did a couple of tracks. Really good. The next one is, I actually have a greatest hits compilation for this because for some reason I don't have the CD that this song originally comes on, but Stevie Wonder, Superstition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to venture a little bit out of the prog realm here, but Stevie Wonder is a musical genius. There's no way around it. I mean, you can't fight it or try to deny it, you know. Stevie Wonder is just awesome. Superstition, it gets you moving every time you hear it. Gets you feeling good.
He played everything on that track except the trumpet.
Yeah.
Everything on that track, you hear the drums, the bass, the keyboard, the vocals, the guitar, everything except there's like a trumpet and I think a sax. That's not him. Everything else is Stevie Wonder, man.
So crazy.
It's the same with the Intervisions record. He does everything on that except for like 2 guitar solos or something like that. Like, just stop it, man. Stop being so good, dude. All right, so the next one.
Fair, man. It's not fair.
You already know what my top. I meant number 4. You already know what the top 3 is going to be, but you have no clue what number 4 is going to be.
Okay.
Oh.
We're going to the Grateful Dead for this one, and we are going to talk about their cover of Morning Dew. The end of this album, the Morning Dew, the last 11 and a half minutes, it's possibly, oh man, I can't even talk about it. It's just so good. It's so good. It is arguably Jerry Garcia's finest moment behind a guitar. What can I say, man? What can I say? It's just, it absolutely captures the mood and the essence of what the song was originally going for. And I know that this is a cover. They didn't write it, but it doesn't matter. It's like their song. When you hear this version of it, it is just so good. I mean, it's a anti-war, post-war song. Walk me out in the morning dew. I can't walk you out because, basically no one's left alive. And just, his vocal in this and just the whole somber atmosphere and vibe of the whole thing and the build and climax of the guitar solos in it. It's really an adventure. And, it gets the chills going every time I listen to it, for sure. So, all right, heavy progosphere here for the top 3. Yeah, y'all knew.
How to do it.
Had to be.
Thick as a brick, my friend. 1972. First time I heard this, my mind was absolutely blown into a million pieces. Just brilliant. I mean, Barrymore Barlow on drums. I've talked about this at length on my own channel, Brockway's Vinyl Bites. And I'll talk about it some more. It's so good. I mean, Martin Barr, Ian Anderson, the whole story of the young Gerald Bostock, the 8-year-old genius. There's Winston Churchill giving him a check or a prize or something there. Very good. Very good. And this is the Steven Wilson CD set. Same one that Rand held up. This is the repress because the original one was too much money.
Yeah.
With the original newspaper stuff intact on the inside. It's funny that they actually gave themselves a review on the newspaper inside. There's like a little music review column talking about this album. Too good.
Cody, I got to see Jethro Tull live play that whole thing in 1972. Eagles opened.
Eagles.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been. Oh man, my hat's off to you, brother. That's fantastic. That's wow. I couldn't imagine seeing Jethro Tull. That would have been amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Martin Barr in the band, where he should be. Ian Anderson, take a note, my friend. Take a hint. Martin Barr needs to be in that band. But yeah, that's super cool, Rand. Man, I wish I could have seen Jethro Tull. Unfortunately,
May I just ask, Brent, who opened for Tull?
Eagles.
Eels did. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a show.
And that was with Bernie Leadon. That was their first album. They only had their first album.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Tara says me and Cody were born at the wrong time. Indeed, she's born in 99 and I was born in 98. So we were, my dad was 20 when these came out. So, okay, so next up is from my favorite band of all time. Y'all know who it is. They're on my shirt. My number 2 is Genesis, and it's Supper's Ready.
Yeah.
I should have said
that's
timetable.
why I didn't pick it.
I should have said timetable just to throw y'all off.
Exactly.
Supper's Ready. Oh, it is perfect from top to bottom. It is one of the life-changing songs for me. Upon hearing this, I was just blown away. We got Scott Davis in the house.
Yeah, we did. I just seen that. Look at that. Mighty Scott G. Davis. Myth of Logic.
Oh, I love that album. That first album I got to hear the other day. That guy is so talented. I love it.
Yeah, he's amazing, and he's a great dude. He really is.
Was it Surrounded by Ghosts? I think. Oh, yeah. I fell in love with it. I got to hear the other one too.
Pictures from a Previous Dream. Absolutely, you do. It's very good. But yeah, Genesis Foxtrot. My favorite band. I've seen Steve Hackett 7 times. I've interviewed him. I've seen Peter Gabriel twice. I've seen Phil Collins solo once and Genesis once. And I just love it. And Steve has played Supper's Ready probably 4 or 5 of the 7 times that I've seen him live. And I'm just going to go on record saying March 2nd, 2017, I saw Steve Hackett at the Oakville Center here in Ontario, Canada. And it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. We were in the second row, and seeing him rip into the guitar solo, because he extended Supper's Ready out to like 30 minutes around. And so he did a really long guitar solo at the end of it. And I was in seventh heaven watching him play, and we were so close. I even had video footage of it. If I can find that, it was on my old Facebook account, but I hope I can find that video because it was so awesome. It was like he just totally sent me to another planet playing the guitar solo at the end of Supper's Ready, seeing him live. Absolutely brilliant. And if there's anyone here who hasn't seen Steve Hackett live, you got to do it.
Yeah.
He's around every 10 minutes, right?
Cody, my first Genesis concert was seeing The Lamb Let Down on Broadway.
Oh, man.
Age yourself again, Rand.
Damn.
How many times did you see Genesis?
3.
When
saw Peter Gabriel twice.
When was the last time you saw Genesis?
And then there were 3 tour.
Oh, okay. So that was before even Duke and stuff. All right, right on. So seeing him with Peter Gabriel and Steve Hackett in the fold, my man, you've won the Prog Corner today, my friend.
I got to see him with Bill Bruford.
And you saw them with Bruford.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That was my first Yes concert too. Was Bill Bruford and Rick Wakeman on the Fragile tour.
Oh.
They opened for Black Sabbath, guys.
That's just amazing. You know,
Stop showing off.
That's just amazing that these bands play together. You know, like Eagles opening for Jethro Tull. You know,
Yeah.
you couldn't expect the same people listening to the same stuff. And now, but they were forced to, right? Here's a band, you better listen to it.
Yeah, I know. And Tara says in the comments, I wish Elon Musk would stop building stupid cars and get to work on time travel technology. Yes, because then I could go back in time and see Yes in 1972.
Yeah.
Just like Rand got to.
Yeah.
Close to the Edge. It is the finest. What's that there?
Just in the Damien just pointing out Lady Lake in the comments.
Oh, right on.
Great minds think alike, Damien.
1972. Sorry, Scott. I don't know if this was on your list, my friend, but I had to steal it. It is. I could have picked all 3 songs from this album to go on my list, and but I kept it to 1 song per artist, which is something I'm not usually very good at, but I'm doing my best for you guys here today. And so yeah, side 1 of Close to the Edge. I mean, it is probably the greatest moment in prog rock history, let alone probably in music overall. It's certainly up there as one of them. It will absolutely be studied. This is something that Tara had said a while back. This will go down in history as one of the greatest pieces of art of all time. It will be studied for years and years to come. It already is in some parts of the world. Frank Zappa has got, the Black Page. There's colleges and things that hold that in such high esteem, make the students learn that. It's going to be happening with this too, especially for keyboard players. Rick Wakeman, oh my God, dude, come on, stop it. It's so good. And John Anderson's vocal, especially in the last stanza at the end of this, oh, dude, woo! It's too good. Bill Bruce.
Absolutely. Well done, Cody. An amazing list as always. I knew you'd deliver the goods. The people seem to be happy with you. There's no pushback. Nobody we have to block today after a Cody segment. So I chalk that up to a win. And,
they used to drop like flies.
In deference to kind of giving Pontis I've been treating Pontis badly around here, man. And I do feel really, really bad about it. Pontis, I do apologize, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
But let's get you on.
Just send me the check, as we said. It's okay.
What do you got for us today?
I was born in 72.
Wow.
I was born on 7th of May, 1972. And on my birthday, the #1 record in the record charts in the UK was Machine Head.
Wow.
That's a good way to start.
Good man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the single in the UK charts was the Amazing Grace with all the bagpipes. So you can't win them all, right? But I mean, 1972 is a very interesting year because it's very sort of in the middle of the prog sort of the first sort of heyday of prog, but it is also, in the middle of the, what shall we call it, the singer-songwriter thing. The heavy metal is high on Sabbath and Purple and all that is just amazing. So just an enormous, great year. So I decided to do like this. I do 10 prog things. Then I have honorable mentions without the world of the prog, right? So at number 10, and this is for Harold. Bless him.
We miss you, Harold.
Yeah, I went for Focus. Focus 3 was released in the Netherlands in 1972, a double album, and I'm going for the big jam in the end. Anonymous 2. It's 30 minutes of Absolutely stunning jamming.
Just
based on a medieval song, right? And they just go off on this, and there's riffs. It's like Jethro Tull, but Jethro Tull never really jammed. But this band really, really rocks, and it's live. It's in the studio. It's fantastic. And I advise everybody to go and listen to this 30-minute piece. It's a drum solo in it. Yes, it's 72. It's a great drum solo by Pierre van der Linden. And there's a bass condenser and everything, And Jan Ackerman is great, and Faith van Leer and all that. So go in and check it out. You're going to have a ride. You're in for a treat, right? So for number 9, the last of the 7 wonders of this band, Moody Blues from the 7 Sojourn album, Isn't Life Strange? A very beautiful, beautiful song.
I love that song, man.
It's so melodic. It's so dramatic, and it really, really gives me goosebumps every time I hear it, because it really sort of brings back memories to people you miss that has gone before you and all that. My stepfather was a great Moody Blues fan, and the day he went, I listened to that on and on. It was just, it's just a spine tingling, song by John Lodge. It's so heart wrenching, right?
Yeah, that's a great song,
isn't
man.
that the one that has like a big flange on the vocal or something?
Yeah.
Isn't life strange?
Got the volume. I think somebody's moving the volume fader like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I got to jump in and add something about that song. I'm sorry, Pontis. I just want to say,
go ahead.
I saw John Lodge open for Yes 5 years ago, and he played that song, and we were outside at Budweiser Stage in Toronto. Beautiful venue outdoors, and he played that song, and when he sang the verses and he goes, "Isn't life strange?" I just remember that like, oh my God, it was just so good, and there was just this nice breeze coming through as he sang that line, and it was just so impactful, just being there and experiencing that wonderful song played on such a nice day with all the Yes fans around, and it was just a really great experience. So yeah, sorry, just
it's emotional, right?
Totally.
It's good music.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. So let's move to another, if we're going for the pop side of prog with the melodic side of prog with Moody Blues, let's go for some Canterbury stuff. How about Matching Mole? They also did 2 albums, right?
Yeah.
The first Matching Mole album has this fantastic jazz improvisation slash Canterbury singing, Oh Caroline and all that. But I'm going with Part of the Dance, which is them really, really ripping it off in a jazz fusion kind of way. It's mind-boggling to listen to that. And the funny thing about Canterbury, they were rarely were they overblown. They were just playing. They were just ripping it off and just going for it, and with a very much tongue-in-cheek and very British. So I absolutely love that.
There's a song on there called Instant Pussy.
Yes. And other things as well.
I love him.
Yeah. My number 7 is Yes. And I'm going for And You and I.
Nice.
And You and I don't remember. I do remember this very well because I loved the DVD Yes Stories. Or Yes Years was it? Yeah, Yes Years. That was released in 1991. It was recorded on the Onion tour, if you want it, with interviews with these guys. And I think they interviewed Rick Wakeman, who said that was a song they made for the fans. They made a song that with all the stuff that the fans loved and all the critics hated. They wanted to make some sort of like a sonata of that. And it's just a fantastic, dramatic song. And it goes different places. And it has this weird little sound in the end going, and I mean, the whole Close to the Edge album reminds me very much of spring. I heard it in '89, in spring of '89, and the whole water, the green front, all that sort of nature sort of thing. It's just amazing to hear in spring. And it's And You and I is right in there with all the hope that is the song, right? And I saw Yes in 2003 with the Tomato lineup. And I must say, you're in a rock concert. This was an outdoor festival where everybody was going, oh, and you go to this concert and it is a spiritual awakening. They actually played Awaken in the middle of it. But it was such a different vibe to it when you saw these guys. So we couldn't continue, me and my mate. We just went back to the tent. We were just overblown by this music. So it is a spiritual thing, right? Let's go back to Canterbury. About Caravan. Ooh. From Waterloo Lily, The Love in Your Eyes. A fantastic sort of rock ballad with a lot of things happening, especially the guitar solo in the end. That guitar riff. And all the beautiful things that goes before that when he Jimmy Hastings flute solo and all that. Waterloo Lily is not the best Caravan album, but that is killer. That track.
I love that track, and I'm gonna cut you off right now, Pontis, because Edward from the Prog Hat. He is the Prog Hat. We love you. We love your channel. He's asking, how do I become a member? A question that I get asked all the time, because if you're watching this on mobile, on your cell phone, there's probably no way to join. That's ridiculous. So I'm begging YouTube to fix that, man. That's got to be fixed. You got to be on a desktop, apparently. And there is a button that says join, which isn't there if you're viewing it on your phone. So yeah, I don't think that helps. I think they need to fix that if they want people to stay on the YouTube platform and not go to Patreon or stuff like that to, help bring in some revenue. So good question. That's how that works. Yeah, Scott says click on the dollar symbol. I don't know. I think it's different no matter what you're looking at it on a tablet or on your phone.
Yeah.
A lot of people watch it on TV. I just found this out. People watch YouTube on their TVs. That's just weird to me.
I do.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Pontis. Continue.
Yeah, I'm at number 5. I had to pick a Frank Zappa song, and it was hard because he is in a very good role in 1972. Remember, he was hospitalized and in a wheelchair for most of the year. But as we said, he managed to put out 3 albums. And I'm going with the title track from Waka Ya Waka. I mean, that fusion of the trumpets, Ainsley Dunbar's drumming, the guitar solo, Don Preston doing a Meanie Moog solo. It is a big band thing. And it's just a glorious romp through a lot of things going. And then he plays then he has a guitar solo in the middle of that, and it's just him. It's just prime Zappa. But I could have gone with anything from those albums. It's just fantastic. Well, I'm going to go like everybody else. Genesis and Supper's Ready. Supper's Ready is one of those people, one of those songs, really, pieces of music that is 23 minutes in length, but it takes 5 minutes to listen to. It feels like that. It's very well constructed. You never get tired of it. You don't sit in the middle going, I hope it. When is that going to end? And there's so much music lore in that. If I say to someone a flower, to any prog fan, we know what we're talking about, right? Or 666 is no longer alone. I mean, Peter Gabriel comes out on that as a fantastic lyrics writer, lyricist. He really blossoms on that, and that is a big step for him as a performer, because that was when he started using the fox's head and the red dress, which he hadn't told the band. He shocked the band, he shocked the audience, right? That is 23 minutes.
Happy.
Yeah, I don't know. Tony is never happy, I guess. But sometimes, I don't know. Well, Trilogy, the title track. A perfect marriage of Greg Lake's ballads and the furiosity of Keith Emerson. I mean, it goes from this beautiful ballad into this total Moogs festival, right? And you have those fantastic sort of rhythms, and you have you're totally in. This is ELP at their peak, doing that in the studio, and it's just fantastic how they pull that off.
Hey, we're getting updates on how to give me money. This is important. This is important stuff here. It says here the $sign is for super chats. Jim is saying that there is a join button on his phone, by the way. So apparently, maybe it's an Android versus Apple thing. I don't know, but yeah, I love it that people are actually hunting, searching, actively seeking ways to give me money. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Continue, Pontis.
Yeah, and then you can upgrade this screen here so we can be many people in here, right? Just kidding. Number 2, Gentle Giant, Mr. Class and Quality, Free Friends. I think that is a perfect side with Peel the Paint. I love the quirkiness of that tune. It's humor. It's perfection. It's just a band going nuts and having a blow at it, and it ends with this choral sort of angelic sort of chorus in the end. But it has all those solos. It has violin, and it's how those different themes work and all that stuff. And of course, number 1, it has to be Thick as Brick, the whole of it. I mean, it's another 45-minute song that goes away in 5 minutes. It's a way too short, in a sense. I mean, it flows so well. It's just amazing. It's just 5 musicians and a few strings, and it is a complete work. From it presents everything that is British prog in a sense. It's folk, it's classical, it's hard rock.
Here's what I'm talking about. Mr. Wondrous figured it out. It's a super sticker. He just gave us money. Thank you, Mr. Wondrous. You're already a member. So giving money on top of that, completely not necessary. Oh, look at that. We love you, man. That's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. But I absolutely, it's captured. One thing that I think it's very interesting with this is that these records sold millions. This complicated music sold, right? People really liked it. Fix a Brick was a top 5 album. Yes was a top 5 album. Emerson Palmer was huge. So
Party
I mean,
time.
it's just fantastic, right? So quick, some really fast honorable mention. Grateful Dead, Jack Straw from the Made in Europe, Live in Europe album.
Europe 72, my friend. Good choice.
Yeah. Joni Mitchell, from the For the Roses album.
Thank you. Some people have been mentioning Joni Mitchell in the comments. I was wondering.
Yeah, and I go for what's the song like? Is it Bargain? No, it's not Bargain. It's the first song. The title just escaped me. A beautiful, beautiful pop piano ballad. How about Nick Drake, Pink Moon? Far Behind the Sun.
Yeah.
And Uriah Heep. I go with Magician's Birthday, the title track. What a blast that is. And Black Sabbath. How about Wheels of Confusion, the end, the beginning of that album? It's pure prog. A Hit by Beres by Chicago. I love that. I mean, every talk about Beres. And of course, I've got to end this with Deep Purple and Space Trucking. Not from a Machine Head, not from Mania Pan, but from the In Concert album, recorded in 1972. It's just a great
You're stretching it there. It was released in 73, recorded in 72. That doesn't count. You gotta pick Machine Head, or you gotta pick Made in Japan.
Okay. We let's stick to it. It's 1970. Deep Purple Mania Pan was released on 8th of December 1972 in England. So let's say that I go with Space Trucking from that. Is that okay? If I stick
rules are rules.
Yes, especially in Prague.
That's right. Yeah, we obey them religiously here.
Yes, absolutely. So that's my list.
Awesome, Pontis. You are the best. Man, you're on next week again, so we're all on pins and needles. Looking forward to that. But Tom, man, we caught you on a stream last night. I was watching, flipping the channels like I do. Some people go through their cable. I go through my YouTube subscriptions, and lo and behold, there's Tom Curlis. I'm like, oh, fantastic. He's in good form. Hopefully you're ready for this. The best songs of 1972. Lay it on me. And do we need to? Are you going big? Do we have a show and tell going on here?
There's not much show and tell. I mean, there's a little bit. I'll give you a little show and tell just to show you how difficult this task was.
Yeah, it is.
That I always have to show my notes.
Yeah, I like that part. Hold on. Yeah. Hold that up for just a little while longer. Yeah. There we go.
I look at all the cross-outs, all the changes, all the audible mentions are I mean, it's like, and then I went back to my days being bored in math class. I used to do the logos.
Yes, looks great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
1972. So this is a difficult, man. I'm so psyched. First of all, thank you for having me again. This is so fun to be here. Scott, this is such a fun live stream. I love it every time we do it. And everybody has such cool picks and everybody knows what they're talking about. It's really fun. So anyway, thanks again for having me, and thanks people for sending money, man. Just keep sending the money.
Yeah. Music to my ears. Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah, keep sending it, man. Keep it coming. All right, number 10. This is, first of all, I'm going to say real quick before I start. So why is 72 so hard? You got Prog hitting its absolute golden year, 1972. You've got heavy metal, hard rock gaining steam quickly. You've got glam rock hitting the UK full steam. You've also got West Coast singer-songwriter going strong. So it's all these different things happening at once. Yeah. It's crazy. It's insane.
And we were listening to it all. It wasn't all siloed off like it is now, where I only listened to Norwegian death metal from the year of this. We listened to everything, because that's what it was on the radio, right? We heard it, we liked it, we listened to it. We didn't give it labels, and either it was good or it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And it also could be the height of the record company, right? So you have all these huge record companies just putting out albums like nonstop, right? It's just because they were making money at that time. They were making money on music. Shocker. All right. So anyway, so number
they bought
10,
cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. So number 10, I'm going with Gentle Giant. I always put Knots and Boys in the Band in the same thing. I'm cheating a little bit, but every time I hear Knots and then I hear Boys in the Band, it's like those two songs together, just that awesome vocal overlap thing on Knots, just awesome. And then Boys in the Band comes in as that great instrumental right after that, whatever that cap is, things rolling around, and then that instrumental comes in.
The coin, the
coin on the table. Okay, let's go to hard rock. Number 9, Supernaut by Black Sabbath on Volume 4. What a punishing riff, man. That thing is just, I love that. Every time I hear that, that is so killer, so great. Okay, number 8, I gotta go Highway Star. It's been said, but Machine Head is so good. Highway Star with that chugging beginning where it's just Richie Blackmore ding 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 ding, and then Ian Gillan with a it's just like every time you hear that, it's just like break it up to 10, man. It's just like
Tom, I didn't know you were a Deep Purple fan.
Oh, you really? Oh, come on. Yeah. Shameless plug. We got a video coming out with Cody on Curlis Mania coming out very soon, so stay tuned. But so number 7, in the singer-songwriter mode, I gotta go. I gotta go Black Mariah from Something Anything.
I love that record, man.
This is a really awesome record.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The best quote on that record is "Send money."
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
I didn't
You're
even
just
know
talking
who he
about
was. I bought that in Puerto Rico. I had no clue who he was. I just liked the cover, and it turned out to be a good score.
Yeah,
amazing record. That's his.
May
best
I say
one.
something quickly about that record?
Sure.
The last song is called "Slut." But Rundgren is a Swedish, has Swedish roots, right? And slut in Swedish means end. So he made a joke about that.
Made a joke, he didn't even know it.
There you go.
Cool, Pontis.
There you go. And the guy's a studio wizard when he does that whole thing in the middle about like, hey, put your headphones on for this one. This is an edit. This is this is when the tape goes crazy. I just love that part. So great. Okay. Anyway, number 6. Let's keep this moving. Number 6. What am I trying to say? It's glam hits the United Kingdom. So we got to go with Bowie 5 Years from Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
I love that opening track with just the drums to get that whole and then it just stranded at the whatever he said at the beginning. What does he say? Anyway, it's like the whole like 5 years, my brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we've got. It's a whole world's gonna end thing. I just love that song. Okay, number 5. I got to go with "What's the Deal" from Pink Floyd.
Nice,
cool,
beautiful song.
Yeah, I just love that song. It's such a great. It kind of points the way where Pink Floyd's going to go right after that record. And I think really "Obscured by Clouds" is a really good record. I love that album.
An amazing album. It's their most underrated album by far.
I agree.
Yeah, and apparently they cranked that album out really fast. That's what I heard from all.
And it's the first one that had synthesizer on it too, which is cool.
Nice. Yeah, I love that whole album, really. And then with the Queen, Scott was mentioning I was on a Queen live stream yesterday, and I was going all deep tracks, but on this one I can't go deep track. I gotta go with what I can't do that. I can't do it. I gotta go with number 3, Supper's Ready. I would love to do something crazy like something else off the Foxtrot. What's the one about getting people smaller?
Get them out by
Friday. And Watcher of the Skies, of course, and But anyway, I'm going Supper's Ready because, as you guys were saying, it's just such a perfectly put together piece of music. And, you know, like you said, there's so much personality in it with Peter Gabriel and that whole, when it goes into Willow Farm or whatever, it's a beautiful acoustic beginning. And it's like, you're in this beautiful Genesis-y acoustic thing. And all of a sudden, bam, 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 and it goes into that Willow Farm thing. It's so cool. It's
Penny Lane.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mellotron takes over right there too.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Mellotron just takes over on that song.
Yes, yeah, it's a complete. And then the 666, of course. Come on.
My
So,
God.
and apparently Tony Banks was pissed that Peter was singing over his keyboard solo. Shocker, right? So anyway, number 2. Usually this would be number 1. Number 2, I'm going Close to the Edge. Part of me wants to go with Siberian Khatru, just because I always listen to that song every time I listen to it. And then when it opens this up, it opens the album. So I mean, this is just like, they do their songs better live. It's insane, or just as good live. It's nuts. But
the greatest live album of all time, Tom.
So good. And that Siberian Khatru on Yes songs is just fantastic. Oh my God.
Yeah,
but
it's
anyway,
it's a fantastic opener.
So, and whatever the song means, Blue Tail, Tailfly, Luther in Time, whatever he's talking about, who cares? Sounds great.
Yeah, right.
The Sun Tower Ass King.
Yeah, just okay, John, whatever. It sounds good. And then I gotta go number 1. I gotta go Thick as a Brick. I can't not go with Thick as. This is like, I've been listening to this album since I was a kid, and it just still blows my mind to this day. I still listen to it and just go, I just love it to death. And I mean, Gerald Bostock, how old is he now? Like 70? How old is Gerald? I mean, he was like,
he's
12.
still 12, man.
He was 12 in 1972, right?
He's
I don't
still
know.
12.
Anyway, but no, this is such a great album, and like, you know, the whole Ian Anderson thing where they thought Aqualung was a concept record and it wasn't. He said, "Okay, I'll give you one. Here it is." So, and this is just like, I think Cody mentioned it, the Barrymore Barlow.
Yeah.
Playing out of his mind. Playing out of his mind. Out of his mind, I tell you.
Yeah, he's pretty good on that.
And then, okay, quick honorable mentions really fast, and I'm done. Do It Again by Steely Dan. Got to do that. You know, Baby Strange by T-Rex. Honky Cat, Elton John. Pink Moon by Nick Drake. And Joni Mitchell, Turn Me On, I'm a Radio. I like that. I always like that song. So there you go.
Good one.
Great stuff.
By the way, the Joni Mitchell song I was trying to remember.
What song were you talking about?
Was Banquet.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah. It was Banquet.
Yeah.
Okay. My sister was a huge fan. I don't know. Not my thing. But Wayne, are you a Joni Mitchell guy, Wayne?
Just listened to a couple songs here and there. Just got finished listening to her song This Flight Tonight, which Nazareth covered and is probably the more famous version, but
right.
I
don't know a whole bunch. I've been told, you know, I'm missing out. The great Royna Stalt cites her as one of the greatest songwriters in the history of mankind. So if it's good enough for the Flower King himself, it's good enough for me. So one of these days I'll sit down and listen to The Hissing of Summer Lawns and Court and Spark and all of those great records that everybody talks about all the time that I've listened to and never really listened to, you know?
Blue.
Like that.
Yeah.
Blue you really haven't paid attention to.
Start with Blue, Scott.
Yeah. Blue with headphones. Blue and Court.
You got to be good at Pat Metheny and Jaco Pastorius in your band.
Jaco, so yeah. That would work out.
You want Jaco, yeah. And Horizon's really good too. Horizon.
Yeah, Hajira, so good. Yeah.
Oh, Hajira.
Hey, I mean, you got Canadians.
Put that up.
You got Canadians on the panel. Of course, we love Joni Mitchell.
Well, there you go. We just went off on a whole 5-minute tangent, teaching Scott about Joni Mitchell. I love it. Wayne, what do you got for us?
Okay, so I got 2 lists here. I got a Prog one and a non-Prog one.
Of course.
So I'll start with the Prog one first. And for my number 10, remake, remodel, Roxy Music.
Yes.
I was hoping somebody would mention Roxy because they've been in the comments left and right. That debut came out in 72, right?
Totally forgot about that, Wayne. Completely forgot.
Good call.
Great song, great instrumentation throughout. Just a weird, quirky, very much Roxy Music type song.
Yeah, and they trip
Number
rhythm.
9 for me, all the seats were occupied. Aphrodite's Child
Oh, that's a great
from
one.
their 666 album.
Nice.
Number 8, Every Step of the Way, Carlos Santana.
Oh,
Ooh,
there you go.
good choice.
Number 7, Lazy, Deep Purple. The organ of John Lord mixed with the drumming of Ian Pace is just fantastic. Like the rhythm section of Deep Purple, like in '72, they were right on point.
Well,
And then
is that the best version of Deep Purple? What is that? The Mach 2 they call it?
yeah,
Is that the best version of Deep Purple? Do you guys think?
I would go.
Could be.
Sometimes it's Mark II and sometimes it's Mark III.
I do
Mark-
because I always thought Burns should have had Glenn Hughes sing everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, hot take.
So actually, good point. But yeah, I've always been partial to Mach 2, but that's a whole other debate. Maybe another episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
Number 6 for me, Raja Khan by Renaissance.
Yeah, I almost picked that.
Ooh,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
almost
It
picked that.
it
There's
is
a lot of
something
John-
that sounds completely different at that
Yeah.
point than anything they did.
There's a lot of John Camp on that. I wanted one, but just Annie. There it is. Yeah,
There's the real cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were showing us earlier.
Like I said, it was a capital twofer, and they changed. And on Apple, they used the cover, but now they call it Prologue.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Number 5, The King Will Come, Wishbone Ash.
Oh God, yes. That's my favorite Wishbone Ash song.
Yeah, just phenomenal. Like their twin guitar attack was just amazing to listen to, and some of their soloing, their instrumentation. That whole Argus album, you could put it on for hours and just listen to it and just get lost in it.
That flying saucer on the back is pretty cool too. A lot of people don't ever talk about that.
Yeah. Number 4, Dark River, Jade Warrior.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
Deep. That's
Wow.
deep, man. I didn't even think about that.
Nice.
Wayne's getting deep.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Where's number 4?
There's fireworks.
Number 4, Blessed Relief, Frank Zappa.
Ah, yeah.
Is that son Waka Jawaka?
Yeah, the ending to Waka Jawaka. Just
Yeah,
something about that
it's-
song. Frank could always crank out random songs every here and there, and I'm like, where was he coming up with this stuff? Especially like you guys said with '72 and the sheer amount of music he put out that year.
I thought that was on Grand Wazoo. Don't want to cause
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yes,
a-
Grand Wazoo.
Grand
That would be
Wazoo.
it. Yeah.
Great choice.
Number 2, Circle of Hands, Uriah Heep.
Oh my God.
Ooh, yeah.
That
Organ on that.
Ken Hensley, Mick Box were just on, and there's David Byron vocally, loved him, but one of my all-time favorite lyrics ever written, sacrifice, the future has its price, but today is only yesterday's tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just these thought-provoking lyrics, and to think they recorded Demons and Wizards, and then within 2 weeks they said that's all they took to write Magician's Birthday as well. Like to think they could crank that out that quickly.
Amazing
But,
if they had 3 weeks.
Oh
Just
man,
the one thing about the Magician's Birthday is it is a little half baked. With just a couple more days in the studio, I know they could have come up with something every bit as good as Demons and Wizards. It's inspired. I love that record, but yeah, it does feel just a slight bit rushed.
Yeah. Number 1 for me, And You and I guess, is an absolute perfect song.
Good man.
I know I'm probably in the minority. I don't think all 3 songs on Close to the Edge are perfect, but that's just me. But And You and I is that one where I can be in any mood and just listen to it. It's just so beautiful.
Space Ritual 72. I thought that was 73.
No, it's 73.
Okay.
Recorded in 72.
Right. Before I could even say it, Zeb answers it.
Yeah.
There you go.
But as for I'll just throw out 10 non-prog songs here that I came up with just for 1972. Tumbling Dice, The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie. Always love that track. Snowblind by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
On that list. Children of the Revolution, T-Rex. Short, sweet, but just an awesome song.
Good
Then
call.
came The Last Days of May, Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Edgar Winter Group.
Awesome.
Angel by Rod Stewart, Jimi Hendrix cover.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
30 Days in the Hole, Humble Pie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I got
Done
to
by
see them
Mr.
too.
Big, too.
I got to see them live in Las Vegas. Do that song.
Ooh.
Nice.
Three Roses by America. Great song. And Hurting Each Other by Carpenters.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's my list.
Nice. Well, in 1972, I was 10, and I was listening to, just like most 10-year-olds probably, in rural Wisconsin, and the early 1970s, the AM radio was a big part of your life. So the songs that I was listening to that I still love to this day, if I could go back in time and rank my top 10 songs, that's what I'm doing here real quick, and then I'll get my prog list. So bear with me. Number 10, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass. I love that song. Hit number 1 in the U.S. At number 9, Listen to the Music by the Doobie Brothers. A great song written by Tom Johnston. Their first big hit for the U.S. Hit number 1 also. At number 8, the biggest concert in the history of the world was the Rolling Stones STP tour. They come to America. They hadn't been to America since the Altamont thing, right? So it had been 3 long years, and they toured the U.S. in 1972. Who's their opening act the entire tour, every date? It's Stevie Wonder. Oh, man. And in the middle of the tour, he drops a little song called Superstition. Yeah. Superstition hit number 1. Absolutely. At number 7, I got Crazy Horses by the Osmonds. It only hit number 14, but it hit number 1 in my heart. I just love it. It's against air pollution. How cool is that? Number 6, guy named Joe Tex. Man, my parents hated this song. I Gotcha. Oh, man, she hated that song. Hit number 2 in the U.S. At number 5, I'm going with Heart of Gold, Neil Young.
Yeah.
Not a big Neil Young fan, but as a kid, I love that track. It hit number 1 in the U.S. At number 4, Johnny Nash, I Can See Clearly Now. Also a number 1 hit. I love that thing. Number 3, I've got Black and White by the Three Dog Night. It also hit number 1, but that's a really, really old song. That was like Pete Seeger sang that thing back in the 50s. At number 2, man, do you remember Popcorn by Hot Butter?
Yeah.
Man, that thing was awesome, even though it's an older song. Yes, dates back to 1968, but they re-recorded at number 1. My favorite song when I was 10 years old that I couldn't get enough of, and my head would explode every single time I heard it, was Everything I Own by Bread. I love that thing. Hit number 5 in the U.S. Just fantastic. But my real list, the prog list, here we go. I had to duck out midstream because I forgot something, man. And I'm like, how did I forget this? And nobody else had mentioned it. So I'm glad I ran and pulled it at number 10. I'm going with Hallo Gallo by Neu. However, I don't speak German. How do you pronounce it?
Neu.
Neu. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Hallo Gallo opens this thing. 1972. You talk about albums that are ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Okay, forget about it. At number 9, I'm going with I Could Never Be a Soldier by Negrolog off their Lady Lake album. Fantastic track. I absolutely love it. And I just figured their name was anagram like a couple weeks ago. I'm an absolute idiot. At number 8, we talked about it earlier. Bands that had 2 great albums in 1972. I'm going with Flash and Small Beginnings. Even though it's a 9-minute track, it does sound like an alternate version of what Yes could have done had Peter Banks and Tony Kaye stayed in the band. I love it. I think the whole album is great. I like all 3 Flash albums, so I'm not gonna lie. Next
when I heard that on the radio, Scott, before they started singing, I thought it was Yes. I knew Yes.
It sounds good. The whole album's good. I love it. Tony Kaye should have been made a full member and stuck around.
Yeah, you're right.
Would have been great. Next up, a Roger Dean album cover, but it really doesn't look like Roger Dean. It's Babe Ruth, and I'm going with the Mexican. I love this album. I love her. She's such a great singer. Fantastic track. They didn't get a whole lot of love, but they were, really, really good. Cody ruined one of my songs that I was going to pick, which was Dialogue Part 1 and 2 by Chicago. So I had to do a quick switcheroony, and I'm going with Dialogo by Quella Vecchia Locanda. Okay, how about that?
That's quite the switch.
Wow.
Name, right? What a fantastic band. One of my favorite Italian bands. 1972. I know Kansas did not hear this album. There's no way they could have. Or maybe they did, because this thing sounds like Kansas to me, man. I absolutely love it. Somebody mentioned a song off of this album. They got the wrong song. I think it was you, Cody. I'm not sure. But it's not 5 years. It's Starman.
I didn't mention any Bowie.
That was me.
Oh, Tom, that was you.
Yep.
I'm going with Ziggy Stardust. I'm going with Starman. They had this album completely done, wrapped up, and the label's like, nope, you're 1 song short. And usually when that happens, you're getting some bottom of the barrel awful thing that comes out of the creator's mind. How about you come up with this at the 11th hour? You come up with a song that good. Starman, amazing. I love
Starman's
Bowie. Why don't we
killer.
talk about Bowie on the Prog Corner? Because David Bowie's Prog, that's why silly. Next up, 1972, another band that put out 2 fantastic albums. It's Banco del Moturo Sarcoso, and I'm going with L'Evolucion, the leadoff track off of this. Their absolute masterpiece. Rich Nerez just gave $2 to the cause. We love you, Rich. Awesome. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Italian Prog. If you don't know it, if you're kind of on the fence about whether or not you try this here album, it's called Darwin. It's by Banco. It's amazing. Where am I at? I think I'm at number 3 because I had to take a bunch off. I had to take Trilogy off because you fools mentioned it. I'm trying not to repeat stuff, but there's 3. Come on. There's 3 you just can't ignore. I want to. I can't. At number 3, come on, it's thick as a brick. It's 40 minutes of absolute pure sonic perfection. It was meant as a joke. Well, the joke's on you, buddy. It's amazing. This is prog rock. It's a concept album. We all know the deal. But for me, the last 90 seconds of this right here, the best 90 seconds ever recorded in the history of music. At number 2, man, it's so hard. You know which 2 I'm battling back and forth. But at number 2 today, I'm going with Supper's Ready. I absolutely adore it. And every time I listen to it straight through, when we get done with the Apocalypse and 9/8 section and Pete starts singing again, man, tears roll down the old eyeballs. It's ridiculous. There's an angel standing in the sun. Why am I crying, man? I've heard this thing like for 52 years. Why is it still doing it to me? And at number 1, Cody was talking about how, 100 years from now, we'll still be studying this thing. And he's absolutely right. It doesn't get any more perfect than the most perfect thing ever created. It's close to the edge. It's 624 times around your turntable at 33 1/3 RPMs or whatever. And you're just not going to be dissatisfied with a single one of those revolutions because not a single note's out of place. Not a single thing's wrong with it. There's a reason why on Yes songs it just sounds wrong to me, because John couldn't hit those high notes, or they were protecting him, so they jumped to the wrong key at the end.
Yeah.
I never liked it. I always hated it. That's why the studio version's better. Well, apparently John has been doing it right lately with the Band Geeks, and also with the little School of Rock he's been doing with, keeping it in the right key signature. So John Anderson, you and Steve Hodges need to kiss and make up, and everything will be right in the world. This kid could die happy, but it ain't gonna happen. But a man can dream, right? So there you have the top songs of 1972, man. You guys delivered the goods today.
Scott, I got 2 fun facts about the song "Close to the Edge." If let me tell them real quick. The first fun fact is that Bill Bruford never got to play that song from start to finish until the Anderson Bruford Wakeman Howe tour in 1989. And the second fun fact is, a lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of fretless bass on that song after the big organ solo where he does the Moog and then they do that real fast part, da 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 da. That's all fretless bass until that part that goes da da ba da 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 da.
Did not know that.
Wow.
Yep. He used a guild. God, I can't think of the name now, but anyway, you can see it on some pictures. If you go online, you can see it. It's hanging on the wall. It's the same one he used in the Remembering and the Tales tour, which I never got to see because by the time they got out to California, they dropped it.
Yeah, they did.
God,
audiences were falling asleep. You can't play Tales from Topographic Oceans live and having no one in the audience heard it before. That was just awful. And we could go on and on and on about all the horrible decisions that Yes made over the years. And we wouldn't have an episode long enough. Anything we did not mention here? Let's see here. I do want to mention, wow, guys, you guys mentioned I must have pulled 100 albums here, man. And the only one that was not mentioned so far was Osana's Palepoli, which is just an absolute stone cold masterpiece of Napoli, Prague, man. You just listen to this album's like hanging out on the docks in Naples, circa 1972, and you hear the whole Mediterranean wash by. It's just incredible for those of you that might want to explore some Italian prog. And 1972 was a seminal year for prog rock. This was a great episode, guys, man. You guys really delivered the goods. Cody, we're going to start with you and wrap it up and say our goodbyes. Watch the view count go down with each subsequent person.
Well, I'm glad I'm up first then.
Well, I watch hours upon hours upon hours of YouTube tutorials. And the one thing they tell you never to do is telegraph the ending, because you want audience retention all the way to the end. We've kind of figured out a workaround here at the Prog Corner. I think you guys know exactly what it is. It's something about saving a king and Scott going crazy. People who tend to stick around for the end of that, but never telegraph your ending, boys and girls. People click off, and you don't want that. But anyway, continue, sir.
Well, that's genius what you do, especially with the the outros. It's the best, and I love when you get right into it, and it's always awesome to see. I love it. I love it. What's going on in Brockway's Vinyl Bites? Well, we got new cool content coming out all the damn time. As I'm not trying to rip off that saying from Sea of Tranquility, but
I don't know where you could have gotten that.
Yesterday we just did a live stream. Actually, Tom Curlis from Curlis Mania was there, and we talked about our top 10 Queen songs. Martin Popoff was there. That was a lot of fun, and it's always fun having those guys in the channel. We had Uncle Steve and Matt was there. It was really well done. It was just a lot of fun, and and I just did a video on 1974, a landmark year in Prague. People have been loving that. I did a video about my top 20 prog rock bands of all time, so people have been digging that as well. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out and subscribe to Brockway's Vinyl Bites right here on the YouTube.
Do it. Cody's channel's awesome. Pontis,
Thank you.
What you got going on, man?
Yeah, I just received my review copy of speaking of Mr. Popov, Martin made a book about Robert Plant where he went through all his records and all the people talking about panel books, he calls it, right? Yeah. And I'm one of those people. I'm talking about a couple of albums, and it's just fun to see your own what you've been writing and what you've been saying.
Hey, are you part of the Kansas book?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing some credits on that Kansas book.
I think too. We're on some other books as well. I don't know, some other pop-up books.
We got a lot going on these days, do we not, sir? It's crazy.
Yeah. We're busy, and of course you will see me and probably Rand together on the Contrarians one day soon or other. You never know what happens. You get a call and you get on and see what happens.
Well, people have been asking me, where is Rand? How do I find Rand? He used to be everywhere, and now it's like this rare Rand sighting, kind of like Bigfoot or Sasquatch or something like that. So what have you been doing, Rand, besides making your own music and doing all that other Rand stuff?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I have a YouTube channel called Randy Kelly, and nobody ever looks at it. I can't get past 657 subscribers for some reason, and I don't care about any of that, really. I put up all my music for free on YouTube. I decided I wasn't going to try to make money at Bandcamp because it just turned out to be an absolute disaster. So I've got 3 albums on YouTube right now. One's called Airshift, which is all prog, and the other's called the Randy Kelly album, which I'm getting ready to put the rest of it on there, but some of it's on there. Then I've got 90 minutes of 2 parts called Rand Kelly's Fusion album, and that's all instrumental and stuff that I did on my own by myself. And you can be seen mostly on Grant's Rock Warehouse, and we're going to be doing some stuff soon. And
That's right. You and I have done stuff before. We did an Enid episode.
Yeah, we did. That Enid was so much fun. Speaking of the Enid, I want to give a shout out to JP. He next month in the 4th week on a Saturday, he's going to play the entire In the Region of the Summer Stars album from start to finish, and I'm one of the requesters, and I couldn't believe it. I almost fell off my chair. When
we love JP. He is definitely one of my favorite reactors. We love our Jim Newsteads and our Nick and Lex and our Lee reacts and our retro reactions. I love if you haven't been able to tell, I love reaction channels. I watch way too much of it.
And also, I can, like Pontis said, sometimes I come on the Contrarians. It depends on what the topics are. Like this month, I didn't see anything that I could contribute to, so I stayed out of it.
Well, we will always be looking for your beautiful, smiling face whenever we're clicking on our homepage and the YouTube algorithm feeds us information. Anyway, thank you, Rand. Awesome debut here on the Prog Corner. Wayne, do you think we should have him back?
Definitely.
Thanks, man.
So what's going on with the Pocket Full of Heap and all your other endeavors?
Right now, just listening to a ton of albums. Just got finished. Got through Roger Waters. Just about done Jeff Beck to form a top 10. So working on that. Have to say, if you haven't checked out any of his electronic albums, some of those are fantastic. Really give them a listen to. Other than that, listening to tons of music. Probably going to start getting back into doing some reactions on a Puck Full of Heap. Just really busy. It seems like every other weekend I'm at work now, so kind of puts a lot of.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about work around here.
No.
Just immediately when we talk about the real world. So we like to keep it all nostalgia core here all the time. We live in the fantasy world of rock and roll music, do we not, Tom Curlis?
Absolutely, we do. No question. I don't want to hear about the reality of the real world.
No, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. So check out, all I can say is check out my channel, Curless Mania. I got a video coming up. We just mentioned about Cody and I are doing Deep Purple Burn versus Stormbringer, which is Mach 3 Deep Purple. So so that was a really fun episode. That'll be coming up tomorrow. I think tomorrow night I'm going to have that posted.
Nice.
So, and then doing another one, Rush. I'm going to do Hemispheres versus Farewell to Kings versus Hemispheres. It's going to be a tough one. And that's going to be with George Lamy. So that's going to be fun.
That is
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Mighty George. Wow, you got heavy hitter showing up for a mighty battle between arguably Rush's 2 best albums. You know I'm going to be watching that. You guys need to be watching next Sunday. The Sunday Prague stream returns. Oh, yeah, it does. We're not going anywhere, boys and girls. Only next week we're talking about, what are we talking about? Yeah, I'm pulling the old switcheroony on us here. I was going to do most overrated albums, but I'm sorry, Wayne, with what we just finished doing on the Prague Corner with Clickbait Week and a little bit of the negative stuff and getting a little bit of, blowback from that. We're going to turn that frown upside down, boys and girls, and it's going to be the most underrated Prague albums. Your 5 most underrated Prague albums. So join me, Wayne, Cody, Pontis, the great Matt Brown, and another debut. We got the debut of Davey Cretin, all the way from New York City. He's going to be checking into the Prague Corner as we name our five underrated Prague albums that you clowns need to hear. And then June 9th, we're bringing Amy back. We got to have Amy back, right?
Yeah.
We're doing the Mount Rushmore of Prague vocalists. And check out this lineup, boys and girls. You don't want to miss this show. Mark the calendars. It's me, Wayne, Cody, Amy, Nathan on shuffle, and Brent from Similitude of a Prague. I'm excited. Neither one of those guys have been on the show before, so it's going to be awesome. Anyway, for Cody, Wayne, Pontis, Tom, and Rand, I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Free the Ukraine, and God save the king. Save King Tookie. That boy needs your saving. Yes, he does. That son of a gun really needs some saving right now. Bring him to America, where we got that real good doctrine going on, and we'll lay some hands on that boy. Oh, yes, you. And then we'll drink some poison. Yeah, spells and incantations will be said, and then we're going to dance with snakes. Oh, you're going to dance with snakes, and he's going to be just fine. I'll see you punks next week when we do the top. What are we doing next week?
Top 5.
We changed it, man. I forgot. Never mind. Whatever. I'll see you then. Peace.